Hey, how's it going? So, I'm here to buy a couple tools for work, but at the same time, I wanted to show you some of the items on the tool list that you can buy, especially if you're new to the trade and you're not familiar with the items, especially if you're like a first bracket apprentice, you haven't even got on a job site yet. You might just still be going through orientation, but you have to have these tools. So I'm going to show you some of the things that I have, some things I recommend, some things I don't. Now, is that right or wrong? Well, it's my experience. So if you have something you like better or use better, then put it in the comments and we can all learn from it. So other than that, I'm just going to start with speed squares and framing squares on this video, and then we'll branch out as I have more time to do so. I'm in a hurry. I'm about to go shoot some archery. So the first thing, if you're brand new to the trades, this is a framing square, this is a speed square, and this is a framing square. So there's a difference. Now, this is not on the tool list, but it is great for framing, and there's an altered version, which I'm about to post a short for. And I'll post a picture of it in this video as well for soffits and things. Now, don't make the same mistake I did. Don't buy a plastic one to begin with because it's cheap, okay? Yeah, it'll get you past the tool list, but it's going to break probably within a week or so. You'll drop it from the lift. You'll have it in your pouch, and it'll smash it and break it. It's just, yeah, just avoid that one. If you are on a budget, this $10 one is not going to be too bad for you. Now, this one, I wouldn't prefer this one myself because I can't read the numbers, but I see a lot of journeymen with this. It's basic. If you do drop it or lose it in a shaft somewhere, it's easy to replace. It also doesn't have the what you see here. A lot of people like to use these to trace their pencil lines. Ooh, that's loud. You have to yell into the thing. It's a speaker box. All right. I don't use these. I use the outside when I'm drawing my lines. I also have a short tape, and I just use my tape and things like that. But this is very useful for drawing lines on drywall at like 2 inches, 3 inches. I have a mini tape for that. The unintended tool, if you want to watch that short. But I also do use these numbers for like when I'm cutting headers and things. I'll put this on there, and then I can notch 2 inches. And it's a lot easier than trying to pull out my tape because I can do it one-handed. So one of these two would be the option for me, the blue one or this one. Lowe's does have this, what is it, Johnson, that's black with yellow writing or black with white writing. That's fine too. But the difference between this and this is, well, minuscule. The only thing extra is this one has big lines. This one has little ones if you do like to draw with that. But other than that, they're basically the same thing for the purposes of metal stud framing and drywall. Now, they do have these large ones. You don't need this as a beginner. And I rarely have ever really needed this. And actually, there's a better one that I can only get at Home Depot. But you can also get it on Amazon, and they have a crescent version. I'll post both links below so that if you don't want to, if you don't want to go to Home Depot or Home Depot to buy it, you can just go to the link and find it on Amazon. But this one here is by far my favorite. I came across it when I was looking for one of these on a job that I was framing with 8-inch studs, because this is only 7 inches, 6-7 inches, and it barely works on 6 inches, and it won't work on anything above that for squaring your studs. And you always want to square your studs because the guy standing up the board will appreciate it. Remember, as Union, we frame for quality at production versus quantity over quality. So, but this one is awesome. I love this thing. And here's why. It's hard to do with one hand. Ah! All right. So it's Husky. It's the first one I ever found that does this. And they've changed it so you can read the numbers, which is great because I do use those for drywall things mostly, sometimes framing as well. And it extends out to 12 inches, which means I can do for as far as metal stud framing and drywall goes, what this does, and it fits in my pouch. So it is awesome. It works. Like I'm on a job right now where I'm framing 3.5-inch studs all the way up to 12-inch studs, and this one square that fits in my pouch will work just fine. Versus my the guy I'm working with, he has this one, and I think he has this one. So he has both of those, and he has to carry them both when he wants to do work with that. And this is a real pain in your in your pouch. But so I use this one, and I highly recommend it. If you've used it, let me know what you think. And it's also great for drywall because if you're running rips at like 12-inch, 8-inch rips, 9-inch rips, you can draw the line for the cutting on it, especially if it's like, you know, especially if it's like halfway down the sheet at 7 foot. It's hard to reach your arms out, or your T-square's, you know, not worth grabbing. So that is the speed square and what I recommend. Now, I've only ever seen one person use this little mini, and they use it for inside 6-inch track, so they can just throw it in there and square their stud that way. I've never done it, but hey, that's an option for you. Now, just look at the framing squares again. So this is great for layout. You know, you can go like this, and you can draw your door leg. Okay, you know, most of them are 3 5/8, so you can line it up on your layout, put it your 4 5/8, and then draw your door leg. Things like that. It's also good for squaring on the outside of doors. And I did take a picture at work, so I'll kind of blow that in here as well. And then if you notch this out, then it's great for squaring soffits and sorry, my brain stopped. It's great for, I have like 3 thoughts trying to come out at once. Soffits, pony walls. It's also good for the end of wing walls when you have screws in the way and things like that. Perfect opportunity to show you the little trick that some experienced framers will do with framing squares. Not to be confused with a speed square. But this is the one you buy in the store, and this is the one you alter for very specific reasons. When you have to do things like this, right? If you were to use a regular one, you see it wouldn't sit flat to your plane, which means that wouldn't be square. Okay? So you notch out about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, and now this is sitting along the plane nicely, which means that will be square when I square it. And you come up about 1/2 inch, give or take. I need to come up a little higher in this one so that you can account for screws for when that's necessary. Now typically this is done for pony walls and soffits, but in this case, special circumstance for a box center. So it's just a very useful tool to have to help you square things, because obviously you can't use a speed square. And this here real quick. So these 2-foot ones, you don't really, this is just pretty much really useful for layout. I've only met one guy who used it for dropping studs on a soffit, and I thought that was kind of weird. So don't do that. or if you do it, let me know how it goes. But this is great for layout columns and other things like that. So, but that's it. So that's the speed square and what I think of it and what I recommend. And on that, have a great day and keep it fun. We'll see you on the next one.